Is Venice the most romantic city in the world? Hell yeah, brother! If you have a romantic spirit, Venice will absolutely steal your heart. My wife and I didn't actually expect too much at the outset. The photos and videos we've seen in the past looked interesting enough, but wow, in person, especially viewed from the surrounding open water, this marvel of a city felt more like a dream than someplace real. Thankfully, I've been to enough real places to know that Venice was legit. While this video won't do it justice, and I'll make sure of that, we'll provide a quick overview of our trip, along with some travel tips based on our experience. We only had 2 days in Venice, so we got some suggestions from a hotel staff member on how to maximize our time. Given that we had sunny weather that day, she said we should definitely venture out from the main island of the city into Murano and Burano, 2 island neighborhoods that rhyme and are accessible by water bus. When taking water buses, called vaporettos, you'll need to get in the line for tourists. The line for citizens of Venice will reject your tourist transportation card, making you feel stupid and alone. One great decision we made was to buy a card from our hotel desk that would cover both bus and vaporetto rides for 2 days. Given the number of rides we took, it more than paid for itself in about a day. The first stop on our island hopping adventure was Murano. Its architectural style was similar to the larger part of Venice, but the smaller crowds gave it a relatively chill vibe. Murano is famous for its glasswork, and you can find stores with some very cool artistic gifts for people at home who are still on good terms with you. We ran into one shopkeeper who practically had an item gift wrapped and ready for us to take the moment we showed interest in it. Beware of such aggressive tactics, and don't be afraid to negotiate the price. The real surprise from our island hopping was Burano. We were told that it was famous for its lacework, but it became clear that it should be even more famous for influencers posing in front of these colorful buildings. As we wandered further into this small island, we found some less crowded spaces, making our stroll through the streets just delightful. I don't know for a fact that they let 5-year-old kids choose the color scheme for this place, but some things are worth believing in, even if they aren't true. When we returned to Venice proper, we disembarked our vaporetto at an unfamiliar spot and let ourselves purposefully get lost. We didn't have international phone service on this trip, so we couldn't use technology to assist us. I have to admit some discomfort with that, but in retrospect it was a very enriching experience. We found that the real joy of visiting this city was just walking around, getting away from the crowds, and discovering one charming scene after another. Can you imagine if this was your front door? Or this, your street? One thing we were told was that we were on an island and could never really get too lost. We could just meander till we found our way to the Grand Canal, which ran through the middle of the island and served as the center of public transportation. In the end, we found that Venice was pretty small, and we made it all the way back to our point of origin by foot. If you have a chance, give it a try. Get lost. Find a place to drink some grape juice. Discover a hidden mask shop. Make some new friends and join them for a nice game of Eyes Wide Shut. Wander some more through some even narrower streets late at night. Re-examine your decision-making process. And most importantly, and I can't stress this enough, don't forget to like and subscribe, y'all. On our second day, it was down to business. Time to hit the biggest tourist hotspots. As the oldest of the 4 bridges across the Grand Canal, constructed from 1588 to 1591, the Rialto Bridge has historical significance. But as someone opposed to history, my biggest takeaway was that other bridges had fewer people on them. We then went to Venice's most famous public square, Piazza San Marco. Venice is pretty expensive, and this area seemed even more so. Beware of scammers in this square, including restaurants where you have to read ambiguously worded fine print on the menu to know that they charge extra for a supposed live music performance that lasts only a couple of minutes before the band disappears. This happened to us, and I really wish I had known some authentic Italian hand gestures. Apart from this annoyance, Piazza San Marco provided some good experiences. While we didn't go inside the iconic St. Mark's Basilica, we admired the facade of its structure, with its Byzantine, Romanesque, Islamic, and Gothic influences. I also loved the subtle color palette of the marble, completely on brand. We did get a ticket to go inside the attached Doge's palace. The Doge was the leading authority of the Republic of Venice, who was elected for life through a convoluted process involving the rich and powerful ruling class. Our visit to the Doge's palace was deemed a secret tour because it included a visit to the underground prison connected to the palace. This is the famous Bridge of Sighs, named as such because the enclosure had windows from which convicts would get their final view of Venice before being taken down into their cells. In all, we thoroughly enjoyed Venice, much more than we expected. Yes, it's crowded and expensive, but I think it's very much worthwhile to experience at least once in your lifetime. Venice is one of the most epic cities you could ever visit. We end today's journey with a segment called Travelsized Tales, miniature stories for people on the go who want to enjoy literature, but not too much. It is the year 2036. Scientists have unveiled a new model of artificial intelligence virtually indistinguishable from humans. 2 of the prototypes are selected to take part in a reality show, but the audience rejects them for being unrealistic because they fall deeply in love with each other. Ciao.